What's up, fam? Hope you're doing fantastic out there today. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a knife from Legion Steel. Now, if you are familiar with these guys, you'll see them all the time in live streams. They're always being a part of the community, which is really cool. So huge shout out to those guys. Now, this is coming way of Barbie EDC Girl, so make sure you check her out. I'll have her channel linked down below. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at it. It does come in a nice little case here. There is some information on that for you, model number and whatnot. Now, they do make two different versions of the knife. They have the blacked out version that you see here, and then they have a silver version, which I believe is either satin or stonewash. I'll throw the picture up there for you guys. Yeah, pretty interesting blade. Flipper only. I like it. There's a few things that I would potentially change about it. A few things that kind of mess with my OCD a little bit on it. And we'll talk about that. But in general, the knife is very well made. I'm not sure who the OEM is on this, but it's got some really nice premium materials. You're looking at a 20 CV blade, titanium carbon fiber, 3.5 inches on your blade length. It is 7.86 overall. The cutting edge on it is 3.3 inches. But then you're looking at 3.7 ounces on your weight. Price on this, they are $335, and they do also offer a layaway program on their website as well. That's pretty interesting there. But yeah, like I said, a pretty daggum well done knife. It is, again, like I said, flipper only. It does look like you would have room to potentially have some thumb studs in there. So if you wanted to do an add a stud or something like that, I believe you have the room to do so. I don't think it would hurt the blade. It's not... I don't think it's needed, but you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of flipper-only knives. I do have a few of them, so it's not something where I absolutely hate it. It's just not not my typical preferred method of deployment. So let's go ahead and jump in and do some close-ups on this thing so we can see everything up close and personal here. So you do have some titanium hardware, or excuse me, it is steel hardware. It is anodized blue. And then we have carbon fiber pivot collars, carbon fiber inlays, and the carbon fiber is done very well. Nice and smooth. The transitions are perfect. The scales are contoured. You do have a kind of a stylized cutout here milled into the into the titanium. Again, there is your steel hardware. You do have a titanium backspacer here that is anodized to match the titanium pocket clip. Very nice stylized pocket clip. It does work very well in and out of the pocket. It is not reversible though, so that is to note there. Looks like we do have a lanyard pin here on the end there. There you can kind of see your blade to handle ratio. Pretty doggone good. Typical 3 spot cutout for the for the lock bar relief, and it is chamfered very nicely. No issues with that going to snag on anything. Standard lock bar, over travel stop, and insert all in one. Blade is centered. And we are perfectly locked up. Let's go ahead and move my light a little bit there. So lockup is good. They are numbered, so there are only 100 of these. I think there's 100 of each version. So this is number 53 of 100. There you have their logos and everything. Plunge grind is actually really nice. It does kind of slowly slope out though, so plunge grind starts really quick and then it does slowly go out. So your full plunge grind doesn't really end until about right there, but you do have some room for sharpening. Sharpening does look good. So it is a kind of a modified sheep's foot design here. Very, very thin blade, and that's one thing that I would personally change about the knife. I wish it would stay this thickness all the way out. So if it stayed this initial thickness all the way out and kept that general sheep's foot design, I think it would be a much more aesthetically pleasing blade. Like just bring this down just a little bit. And you could even have that belly and have it come up, but still bring that, widen that tip out a little bit. And I see why they did it. It looks like, number one, the closed profile of the knife, it does help with that. Keeps it a thin profile for carry. And then also this almost gives it a drop point style tip. So you kind of getting that sheep's footy kind of design aspect. So for your utility to cuts, you still have that sheep's foot tip. Then it's also sort of getting pokey enough to be more of a drop point. So kind of a modified or hybrid blade shape there. So I definitely get that. Again, it's not something I hate. It's just it messes with my OCD just a little bit. Like I said, it wouldn't be terrible if this was just a little bit higher. You know, even just out to here, that would give you a little bit better ratio on that thickness, the height of the blade. Outside of that, action is really nice. It needs to be broken in just a little bit. This one was a little stiff right out of the box, from what I understand. Again, I did get this. This was used. It was given to me for just for checking out, and so it's going back to Barbie once I'm done with it. So I don't know exactly how long they had it, but I've had it for about 2 weeks now. I've messed with it a good bit. I've carried it a good bit. So it is breaking in very nicely. I did go ahead and take it apart and went through and cleaned everything up and re-oiled it with my oil. And I really like the way it's working very nicely now. I haven't had any issues with the action on it since then, and it's kind of helping it break in a little bit. So I think it actually had some oil, or excuse me, not oil, some actual grease in there instead of oil. So I used a nano oil in there, and that again, that really helped free things up. So, but yeah, like I said, fit and finish on it's really nice. Ergonomics are really well done. I do feel that pocket clip just a little bit right here on this outside or this inside edge. You do feel that kind of press into the hand, but just a quick kind of change in the hand, a little bit of change in the grip, and that disappears. So no real issues there. Lock bar access is phenomenal. You guys can see that there. Got plenty of room to get in there. It's a fairly fairly easy lock bar to push out of the way. The relief cuts are done well. It gives you plenty of access there. And then the detent is solid. I don't have any issues with the detent, and it is a very early detent there. So there's where your detent catches. So once you get past that point, you're free. There's no creep or anything like that. There's no detent ramp, which I prefer. I definitely hate detent ramps. But once you get past that initial click of that detent, you're good. So let that flipper come down, hit the thumb. It works with my big old fat thumb, so if you have smaller hands or smaller fingers, it's really going to be able to drop down and just hit that thumb and keep on going. So again, no real issues there at all. Jimping on the back of the blade, you don't really feel it because it's up here. So I don't like that because it is not really functional jimping, so I'd rather just not have it at all. But that being said, it doesn't bother me when I'm actually holding the knife because my thumb is out here further, so I don't actually feel it. And what really irks me on that is whenever it's jimping that I can feel, but it's not providing any traction. So here, I can't feel it, so it might as well not even be there. So I just treat it as such, that it's not even there. Sharpening, like I said, was done very well. It seems to be holding an edge very nicely. Again, it's 20 CV. I don't know what they run it at, but it does seem like it's done pretty well. The blade still feels nice and tacky, and I don't feel any deformation or anything like that on the edge. It's the fingernails gliding right over it with no issues there, so it's not snagging or grabbing on anything. Black wash blade, it's going to hold its own. It's not going to show a whole lot of wear and tear. It doesn't seem like it's causing any wear on that black wash coating. Going through some cardboard and things like that, it doesn't seem like it's wearing on that coating. So I mean, it will eventually wear that coating down a little bit, but the fact that it's a black wash instead of just a straight PVD will, of course, hide scratches and blemishes very well. So yeah, overall, very nice knife. If it's one that you appreciate the aesthetics on it, you won't be disappointed in it at all. I think you'll really enjoy the knife, and like I said, the ergonomics of it are great, and the folks down there at Legion Steel are really awesome people. So again, this is the Legion Steel Asgeir, and I don't know if I actually said that or not, so I apologize if that's my first time saying the name of the knife, but it is the Asgeir, and like I said, they have two different variations of that. I'll have everything linked down below as always. All right, let's go ahead and do our hardware check. I know we have T6 and T8 hardware here, so we'll go ahead and check our pivot. Very well done. Zero wiggle there on the pivot. Check this side. Good there. Check our T6s. Got just a little bit of wiggle on that one. That one is good. I mean, just a hair of that one. That one's really good. That one actually grabbed a hold of the screwdriver. And this one's really good. And then the clip screws in from the inside, so you won't be able to check that screw. So yeah, guys, let me know what y'all think down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Take care.